So welcome to your 2020-2021 open enrollment. We are going to go over the benefits for with United Healthcare and the dental coverages. I am going to mute everyone just so we don't have any of that background noise. If you have a question, I believe you can unmute yourself and ask the question at any time. On the screen, you'll see the agenda of the items that we're going to be covering today. So your medical choices with United Healthcare. We have a health savings account overview paired with a high deductible health plan. So I have two short videos to show you in regards to that. We'll go over the Delta dental plans for that we removed to the end of last year, vision plans, and then your voluntary products that are available. So your open enrollment begins today. So opportunity to make a change to your plan. Everybody will have to move from one plan or another. It ends on the 23rd. We would like everybody to have their forms in on that day or sooner so we can input into the United Healthcare all the changes that need to happen. The benefits are going to begin on July 1st, 2020, and then end on June 30th, 2021. So you are locked in for a full 12 months. Eligibility, all employees are eligible after satisfying the waiting period and if they work 30+ hours. Aside from yourself, your legal spouse, dependent children, and or domestic partner are also eligible for your benefits. As I stated earlier, these benefits are going to start on July 1st and you are locked in for a full 12 months. If during those 12 months you need to make any changes, you may only do so if you have a qualified event, such as a marriage, divorce, birth of a child, adoption, loss of coverage, things of that nature. That's going to be a qualified event. At that time, when you experience that, you want to reach out to your HR team here at CBR and let them know that you'd like to review your benefits, enroll, add dependents, or delete dependents, depending on what the qualified event is. It's very important that you do not exceed that time frame. If you do, you would have to wait until the next open enrollment period to make any changes. There are a few caveats to that. If it's children losing like access or a state plan, coming off of the marketplace, being eligible for Medicare or Medicaid, you have 60 days. But the sooner that you let us know, the sooner we can make those changes in the systems. We're going to go over two of the medical plans that are available. You have two options this year. So first plan there is going to be your Choice Plus $2,800 high deductible health plan. It's tied with an HSA or a health savings account. This plan has a $2,800 individual deductible, $5,000 family deductible. So on this plan, all of your services are going to be subject to your deductible, which includes doctor visits, emergency room, urgent care, and pharmacy. With some exceptions, your preventative care is going to be covered at 100% before your deductible. Preventative drugs and FDA-approved contraceptives are going to be free, so not subject to your deductible. If you have any questions in regards to where your prescription falls, you can send that to me and I will be happy to check. But everything else is going to be subject to your deductible. So as I mentioned earlier, it's $2,800 for an individual, $5,000 for the family. Should you meet that deductible in a calendar year, you're going to go into cost share or co-insurance. So at that point, United Healthcare picking up 90% of the cost and you pick up 10% until you reach that out-of-pocket maximum. So in a 12-month period in network, that's your worst case scenario. So if you've had some surgery, some therapies, MRIs, CAT scans, things of that nature, and you meet that out-of-pocket, the $5,000, you're covered at 100% for the rest of the calendar year in network. So that includes doctor visits, surgeries, pharmacy, that includes everything. No more out-of-pocket costs other than your payroll premiums. As I stated earlier, your preventative care is covered at 100%. Under healthcare reform, there are 63 preventative exams we're entitled to depending on age and gender. So make sure you schedule those preventative exams with your providers. Keep in mind, if you go get those exams and you start talking about aches and pains, it now becomes diagnostic and the provider will want to collect some money. So they'll submit a claim to United Healthcare. The coding will let UHC know that there was some diagnosis done and then you will get a bill from the provider. Your office visits, specialist visits, urgent care, emergency room are all going to be subject to your deductible. All the other thing that is free on this HSA plan is going to be your virtual visits. So if you can schedule virtual visits with your providers or telemedicine visits with your providers, those are at no cost. You pay nothing out of pocket for those services. And the telemedicine providers are board certified physicians. They can diagnose over the phone, write prescriptions, and send it to pharmacy. So that right now, because of COVID-19, those visits are at no cost. The telemedicine, your virtual doctor visits are always going to be free. So keep that in mind when scheduling your appointments. Try and have if you have a pharmacy check, a prescription check, where they just need to go over labs and things of that nature, you may want to schedule a virtual visit to save you some money there. Your prescriptions, I stated earlier, with the exception of maintenance medication and FDA-approved contraceptives, everything else is going to be subject to that deductible. There is a website or an app called GoodRx. Download it to your telephone. Co-insurance between you and United Healthcare, and then your maximum out-of-pocket on this plan is $6,000 for an individual.
Leticia?
Yes.
Leticia, I'm sorry to interrupt. You've been gone for the better part of 5 minutes.
Oh.
We had lost audio. I've been shooting you texts trying to tell you that we lost you. The last thing that you were talking about before you were lost was, I think you were talking about an emergency room or urgent care, and
okay,
that the virtual visits are free because of COVID, and then you went away for a little bit.
I went away. Can everybody hear me okay now?
Yes.
Okay, I'm not sure. All right, great. Thank you for letting me know. I'm not sure what happened. I have my mic next to my mouth. So I'm going to go back to the first plan there, talking about the virtual visits. So everything's going to be subject to your deductible on this first plan. Keep that in mind, with the exception of your preventative care, your pharmacy that's preventative, FDA-approved contraceptives, virtual visits with your providers. If it's a med check, going over labs, things of that nature is probably something that you want to schedule a virtual visit, and those are always going to be free. Your telemedicine or telemedicine visits are for diagnoses. Those are free right now because of COVID-19. Typically, they carry a copay, but right now and until further notice, they are not charging any money for those telemedicine visits. So the virtual visits are always free under both plans. So a way to save money in your health savings account or your high deductible health plan. Then the next plan that we're going to go over is your Choice Plus plan. This one does have a $1,500 deductible as an individual, a $3,000 as a family. Now, on this plan, the only time you need to worry about your deductible is when you have major medical. So surgeries, MRIs, CAT scans, things of that nature. That's when you have to worry about your deductible. If you don't go in for any of those types of visits, then you never have to worry about that deductible. If you do have surgeries, then you'll be subject to that deductible, your co-insurance, and of course your maximum out-of-pocket, similar to the previous plan. Once you meet that maximum out-of-pocket, you're covered for the whole year in network for all services. So surgeries, doctor visits, pharmacy, no more out-of-pocket costs should you meet your out-of-pocket expense. Similar to the previous plan, all of your preventative care is covered at 100%. Under healthcare reform, as I stated earlier, we're entitled to 63 preventative exams. Schedule those for yourself, your spouse, your children, and get your preventative work done. If you, get a bill and you're certain you didn't talk about anything else, let me know. Send that to me so I can work with United Healthcare and get that straightened out. On this plan, for your walk-in clinics, your regular doctor visits, it's a $30 copay. Your specialist is a $60 copay, and you can self-refer to specialists. You can go onto your My UHC, find the specialist that you're looking for, and you can self-refer. You can call them and set your own appointments. Your urgent care is going to be a $75 copay. Your emergency room is $250, and prescriptions, you have copays for a 31-day prescription. So your generic drugs, some pharmacies have $4 and $3 generics. You're always going to pay the lesser of either that amount or $15 for your generic drugs. Your preferred brand name drugs are $35 and your non-preferred brand name $65, and then specialty medications, it's $100 copay. Then you have 90-day mail order available as well. I'm going to go back to the other plan only because I'm not sure if everybody heard that the high deductible health plan you compare with the health savings account. So this is a bank account that you open and that you own, and any money put into that account is your money. So for the 2020-2021 plan year, EyeSite Surveillance is going to put in $100 into that HSA account for anybody that enrolls in the high deductible health plan. That is plan number 1, or the Choice Plus 2800. So if you enroll in that plan, you could put in your own pre-tax dollars, but EyeSite is also going to be contributing $100 per month into that account. You can use those dollars for all of your medical expenses, your dental, your vision, for yourself and dependents. So I have additional information then in the next couple slides, and then 2 short videos to talk about the high deductible health plan and how it works. Does anybody have any questions so far? Okay, we're going to move on to the next page. So some UHC resources that I spoke about earlier. So very important if you're enrolled in that high deductible health plan to take advantage of the virtual visits. Those virtual visits are going to be free on both plans, but on the high deductible health plan, because you are paying first dollar towards your deductible, it's very important to save some money there. And you're going to be responsible for, taking care of your own care, coordinating with your doctor, making sure that you're getting the most bang for your buck. If you need to schedule MRIs or CAT scans, do some comparison shopping similar to when you're shopping for a TV or a car or anything, especially obviously that didn't happen with Super Bowl, things of that nature. People like to shop for TVs and get the best TV for the least amount of money. So I would recommend doing the same for your own health care if you're on that high deductible health plan, is compare the facilities of doctors. Can I get it outside a procedure outside of a hospital, a standalone facility versus a hospital? You're going to save more money there. So visit the My UHC website, create your login in your profile, and do that comparison shopping. The virtual visits or telemedicine visits, you can visit as well. They can diagnose a lot of things over the telephone or virtual visits. And then we usually know our symptoms, what's going on with our bodies, and we can give that information to doctors, and they can write a prescription to the pharmacy that's closest to you. The beauty about these services, and you can use them at any time, anywhere within the United States. If you're traveling for work or on vacation, you can use these services anytime. We're going to go over the health savings account in a little bit more detail. Some things to keep in mind if you're considering the high deductible health plan with the health savings account. So 2 different pieces there. The high deductible health plan, you have to enroll in that in order to qualify for a health savings account. And the health savings account, again, EyeSite is contributing $100 per month, but you could also contribute pre-tax dollars. So that helps you by lowering your taxable income. And we partner with UMB Bank here at CBR, and we will direct deposit that money that you select and also the $100 into that account. It'll be a seamless process. Keep in mind, once you reach a balance of $1,000 in that account, you can start to invest those dollars. Any interest earned is your money, and it's tax-free. Government will not tax you on that. As we start to age, we can use that money when we become Medicare eligible to pay for Medicare premiums, start to deduct funds for our medical expenses, and that is tax-free money as well. So to triple tax savings there. A couple of rules with high deductible and HSAs. Number 1, you have to enroll in the high deductible health plan, which is you have the opportunity to do so now. You cannot be covered under a non-high deductible health plan. So if you are enrolled in this plan and your spouse is enrolled in a copay plan where you have copays for your doctor prescriptions, urgent care, and pharmacy or emergency room, you cannot open an HSA. You're disqualified. If you're enrolled in any part of Medicare, enrolled, not Medicare eligible. If you're Medicare eligible but not enrolled in any part of Medicare, you can still participate. And then you cannot be claimed as somebody's dependent on their tax returns. Those will exclude you from opening an HSA. Some additional rules to keep in mind. So the IRS does set limits in the amount of pre-tax dollars you can put into your HSA account. For the 2020 plan year, as an individual, it's $3,550, and as a family, it's $7,100. So whatever amount you're going to be contribute, make sure you subtract the $100 that EyeSite is going to contribute, because that's going to chip away at your maximum. And if you're 55 plus, you can tack on an additional $1,000. They call it the catch-up provision, because once we enroll in Medicare, that disqualifies us from adding money to the HSA, but we can still continue to use those dollars for our medical expenses. Again, this is your money, goes with you. There is no lose it or use it provision. That is your money. Once it's in your account, you own that account. Those are your funds. If you enroll in the high deductible health plan, do we have a question? Do we have a question? If you enroll in the high deductible health plan this year, and let's say next year you don't want to, you can still use those dollars for your medical expenses. You just can't add money to it. Okay. Do we have any questions? All right. I'm going to play a short video. Please let me know if you can hear it okay. I tested it a couple times, but I want to make sure that you guys can hear the audio. Can you hear the audio?
Health insurance is important for everyone, but not everyone needs the same amount of coverage.
Not very well. It's kind of low.
While maximizing the power of your healthcare dollars, a health savings account may be the right choice for you. Health savings accounts, or HSAs, are a type of savings account that lets you pay for medical expenses with tax-free money. Here's how HSAs work. Money is taken from your paychecks before taxes are deducted and is placed in a separate bank account. You can then use the funds in your HSA account to pay qualified medical expenses, including health, dental and vision care costs, prescription services, and certain medical equipment. The account is owned by you and remains in your possession even if you leave your employer. There's no time limit to use your HSA funds. If you don't use any or all of your funds during the year, you can stockpile leftover money for next year and even earn interest on it. If you have a high deductible health plan, you are probably eligible for an HSA. Contact your HR representative to find out how you can start the enrollment process.
Okay, was everybody able to hear that okay?
Yes.
Any questions? I have one more video to show, and this one's more around eligible expenses and what you can use those HSA dollars for.
Did you know that using your HSA on eligible expenses can save you money? We know that HSAs have tax advantages, and if you use it on qualified expenses, you actually come out ahead at the end of the year. Just be sure to use your HSA on qualified medical expenses to avoid penalties. The good news is that these kinds of expenses include most medical care and services, as well as dental and vision care. Here are 5 common examples: acupuncture, chiropractic care, contact lenses, dental care, prescription drugs. And you're not limited to using your HSA for your own qualifying medical expenses. You can also use it to pay for your spouses or dependents, as if you needed any more reasons to love your HSA. To learn more about eligible expenses or how to use your HSA, contact us today. Did you know that you...
Sorry about that. Okay, does anybody have any questions in regards to the HSA and how that's going to work? Okay, we're going to move on. If another great thing is Amazon. I know a lot of us are familiar with Amazon. Amazon also has an HSA store and an FSA store. So those are 2 places that you can go and see what else you can purchase with your health savings account. There is no use it or lose it provision for your HSAs. Keep that in mind. You can roll that money over year over year over year, and it's your money to spend on your health needs for you and your family. Next, we're going to talk about the flexible spending account. Very similar to an HSA, except does not have a carryover provision. So there's a maximum you can carry over, but you can't stockpile the money similar to an HSA. So again, pre-tax dollars that you elect. So this is going to work with Plan 2, that $1,500 deductible UHC plan. This one will work with that. The HSA works with the first plan. This works with the second plan. Pre-tax dollars that you're going to set aside up to $2,500 during the year. And this is more of a refresher because I believe we sent out a notice late last year in regards to enrolling for the flexible spending account. So not to be confused with an HSA, the FSA, you get your dollars pre-funded on your Visa card. By the end of this year, 2020, the maximum that you can carry over into 2021 is going to be $500. So if you have any money left in your flexible spending account, and that's more than $500 and you don't have any additional expenses coming up, try and find something to spend those additional dollars on. You can carry over $500, but that's the max into the 2021 plan year. Okay, again, more of a refresher because I know this was something that we reached out to late part of 2019. Any questions on the flexible spending account?
Yeah, open enrollment for the FSAs aren't until the end of the year though, correct?
Correct. So more of a refresher, if you were already approached in regards to the FSA, you can enroll now, but keep in mind it only runs to the end of the year. So the maximum you can set aside is $2,500, but it is coming out of your check pre-tax. So if you want to do a smaller amount, if you have other expenses coming up that you want to pre-tax, you can do so. But just keep in mind that we're going to deduct it from your paycheck from now to the end of the year. Okay, next we're going to go over the dental plan. Again, this is kind of a refresher. We reached out to everybody at the end of last year to move everybody from the Aetna Dental over to the Delta Dental of Arizona plan. So we're going to go over the two options that are available. So the first plan is the PPO plan. So this is your traditional dental plan where you have a bucket of money to use for your dental services. In this case, it's $1,500 per person enrolled in the plan. So if it's yourself, spouse, and children, each of you have $1,500 to use towards your dental services in a calendar year. The preventative care is your cleanings twice a year. So if you've already had those done or had one done during the year, you have a second one, and you can schedule those anytime during a calendar year. So it doesn't have to be every 6 months. It could be, maybe one you had in March and you want your next one in July, or however you want to work it out, you can do that. Additionally, under the preventative care, if you're pregnant, have coronary heart disease, hypertension, or diabetes, you get an additional cleaning, so making it 3 a year at no extra cost. Keep that in mind for the preventative care. Your basic services are going to be emergency services, non-surgical extractions, cavities. Those are going to be your basic services. If you utilize the basic services or the major services, you will be subject to a one-time deductible. That's only once in a calendar year of $50 for an individual or $150 as a family. Major services are going to be your implants, root canals, dentures, things of that nature, and that's a 50-50 cost share between you and Delta Dental of Arizona. Keep in mind, you have $1,500 to use towards your services, and then on this plan, you get an additional $1,000 for child orthodontia. So you have two buckets of money, $1,500 to use towards your dental services, and then $1,000 for child orthodontia. The next plan is the DHMO plan. So on this plan, you do have to select a primary care dentist. So the dentist, if you need to go to an endodontics or a periodontist or a specialist, they will refer you out. You do have to select that dentist. Each member in your family may have their own dentist, so not everybody has to go to the same one, and then you can change it throughout the year. This plan does not have an annual maximum. It does not have deductibles that you have to meet. You still have your preventative care covered at 100%. All other services are going to be on a fee schedule. It is very important that you select a dentist. If you don't, Delta will assign one to you. And why it's important and why you're able to have really deep savings in regards to what procedures you're going to have done is because Delta pays the dentist for each member that's enrolled with them. So on the next screen, I have a sample of the codes. So it's just a very long list of codes and what the cost is per procedure. So I attached this to the email. It's a multi-page document. It covers everything. Like I said, your preventative is covered at no cost. There's anything and everything under the sun that you can think of that you would need done in a dental office. So it has teeth bleaching as one of them, implants, adult orthodontia is covered, and child orthodontia is also covered. And the child orthodontia on this plan, your max out of pocket is $1,900, and adult orthodontia is $2,100. So it's a really good plan, really good deep savings. You can use your FSA dollars and your HSA dollars to pay for those services as well. If, as I stated earlier, if you don't pick a provider, you'll be assigned one, but you can change it at any time. You will receive a letter in the mail if you didn't already, if you enroll in this plan, enrolled with your ID cards and instructions how to change your provider and who the provider is. Any questions on the dental? Okay. Additional resources available similar to the medical. You go to myuhc.com and get all the goodies that are available, coordination of care, comparing costs by facility, by provider. You can do the same with the Delta Dental. They also have an app you can download to your phone to find a provider near you to see how much you've used of your benefit, how much you owe a provider, things of that nature. So I recommend that you download the app or either go on their website and register. Next, we're going to go over the vision plan. Again, we made a change for 2020. So everybody was moved from the last carrier or the last plan to this plan. It is still with iMed, but it's a different network. This one is called the EyeSite network. It's a little bit bigger network with a little bit deeper discounts for the members. You still have your eye exams available every 12 months at a $10 copay. Your frames are available every 12 months as well, and you have a $120 allowance to use towards the frames, and then you get a 20% discount anything over $120. Your lenses for your frames, the plastic lenses are single vision, bifocal, or trifocal, are going to be a $10 copay. And then you can apply the polycarbonate, the tinting, things of that nature, all are going to be a copay as well. You also have a contact lens benefit available every 12 months in lieu of the lenses for your frame. So you can have either one every year. It's an $80 allowance, and then you get a 15% discount, anything over $80. Your medically prescribed contact lenses are always going to be covered in full. Okay, any questions on the vision plan? Okay, next we're going to go over the voluntary life and accidental death and dismemberment. So if you already enrolled in the Unum plan and you didn't max out your 5 times annual earnings up to $200,000, you can increase your life insurance. If you want to increase it, let's say you bought $10,000 the first time you were approached, and you want to increase it to more, you can do so with no medical underwriting, no questions asked. Any new hires or newly eligible employees, you have the guarantee issue at 5 times your annual earnings up to $200,000. Again, no questions asked. If you've been previously denied for medical reasons, it's a great opportunity to enroll. That's guarantee issue of $200,000 for the employee, $25,000 for the spouse, and $10,000 per child. If you didn't take advantage of this when it was first offered and now you would like to, you are going to have to complete what we call an evidence of insurability for any amount. So again, if you're a new hire or newly eligible, or you are already enrolled and want to increase it, I recommend that you take advantage of the Unum life insurance policies. And also, since we're on the subject of life insurance, if you had a qualified event and you would like to change your beneficiary, you can do so at any time. Make sure you contact your HR representative here at CBR to update your beneficiary. Now, if you live in a state that's a community property state, such as Arizona, your legal spouse automatically will be your beneficiary unless he or she signs a waiver, and we do have those waivers if you need them. Okay, any questions? We're going to go over the disability. These are voluntary products. So this is paycheck protection in the event that you injury or illness outside of work. So the short-term disability covers you in a short time. It does cover maternity for the ladies. And again, outside of work, not anything to do with work-related injuries. So if it's a non-work related injury or accident, this is will cover you. So the short-term disability is 60% of your pre-disability earnings up to $1,000 per week. The benefit begins after the 14th day of sickness or accident, and the benefit duration is 11 weeks. Now, if you're new hire or newly eligible, you can enroll these with no evidence of insurability, which means you do not have to fill out a medical questionnaire. If you bypassed it the first time it was offered and now you would like to enroll, there is going to be some medical questions that are going to be asked, and that's going to go to Unum for underwriting. There is a pre-existing clause for both the short-term and long-term disability. It's called a 312, which means if you were diagnosed, saw a provider, or took medication for a condition, and then you go on a disability for that same condition, it will not be paid or non-compensable. It'll be excluded for 12 months, but any other condition will be paid. Your long-term disability, if you enroll in both and you are in the short-term and then you continue to be disabled after the 11 weeks, your short-term will dovetail right into your long-term disability. So that long-term disability covers 60% of your pre-disability monthly earnings up to $7,500 a month. The elimination period is 90 days, and this benefit lasts until normal Social Security retirement age. Any questions on the disability programs? Next, we're going to go over some of the AFLAC products that are available. So the AFLAC products that are available are owned by you, and they pair really well with a high deductible health plan per se. So if you purchase a hospital plan, it covers you when you go in the hospital, the emergency room. If you have an overnight stay, it'll give you an additional dollar amount. Any testing that you have done while you're in the hospital, it will pay on top of that. If you go into the hospital multiple times a year for different reasons, it pays out every single time. So it's not a one-time payout like a lot of GAP plans do. They only pay once a year or once per event. And then they pay providers. The AFLAC plans do not pay the providers, they pay you. There's no network, there's no coordination. They don't need, other than you submitting a claim and proof of being in the hospital or diagnoses, they don't really require anything else from you. The accident plan covers you on and off the job. So, if you have an accident at work or off, you're a weekend warrior or your family is very active or clumsy and you have a lot of accidents, each accident will be paid out separately. They also have a short-term disability policy that is a little bit different than what Unum provides. So if you're looking with something with a shorter waiting period or longer duration, I invite you to fill out your questionnaire that was sent out. It does not mean you're bound to anything, buying anything. It just means that you're willing to have a one-on-one with an AFLAC representative about the coverages that they offer. The other good thing about AFLAC is once you enroll, and the younger you are, the premiums are lower, they will never change. Those premiums will stay with you forever, and these are policies that are owned by you. We do payroll deduct should you enroll, but if you ever leave CBR or leave EyeSite, you get to keep those policies and they go with you. So some really good programs here. If you're concerned about things going on right now, being hospitalized and your out-of-pocket expenses, these are some really good programs to take a look at. Any questions?
So do we need to contact Jose to sign up for that, or?
Yes, so in the email that I sent out, there's an interest sheet, and I'll go over it here in a minute. Just need to fill that out and get it back to us with your enrollment packet, and we'll make sure Jose or a member of his team call you and go over. It is very customized because it could be for an individual, husband and wife, or an entire family. So he'll go over those options with you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Leticia, I know Veronica's no longer handling our AFLAC, but I do want to let you know I've emailed Jose multiple times to help me with my AFLAC, and I haven't had any luck or response from him as well. But we could talk about this outside of this meeting, but I do want to make you aware that I have not heard from Jose
Yeah, so if you have if you have issues like that with any of the representatives that work with CBR, please let me know immediately because I have a direct dial to the entire Aflac team, including Jose's boss. So, you know, we never want to have an experience like this, but it's good to bring it to my attention. That way I can get involved and see what's going on. Um, you know, I apologize for that. He's very responsive. He was on a call with me this morning. And so I'm not sure what's going on. So thank you for letting me know. If we can definitely address this offline. And if it's not Jose, he's got a lot of people that work with him. And like I said, I have a direct line to all of them, including Philippe, his boss, or who he reports to. So we'll get this resolved and get everybody to get a one-on-one with an Aflac representative. So yeah, you are correct. Veronica is no longer part of the CBR team, but we have other team members. So we'll get this resolved.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Other offerings that we have, so the Legal Shield and ID Shield, if you're enrolled in that, no changes there. There's actually some enhancements to the program that happened earlier this year. We have the flyers that were also sent out. You'll see that there's a lot more benefits being covered under Legal Shield, a lot more services that are being offered under Legal Shield, including uncontested divorce, which I know is new for 2020. ID Shield, same thing. If you enroll today, no need to make any changes. If you want to enroll, I include the flyer with the premiums for an individual and a family. The ID Shield protects you against identity theft or helps restore your name, your good name and standing with the creditors and all that good stuff if you become a victim. So good programs to have in place. In 2019, early part of 2019, Arizona surpassed Florida for identity theft. So if you don't have this, have something monitoring your credit because it's very prevalent in the Southwest. Another option we have or plan is United Pet Care. So that's insurance for your pets. It's not limited to just cats and dogs. They cover a lot of different pets. Provides a really good discounts when you go to those veterinarian offices. I'm enrolled, well, I'm not me, but my dog is enrolled, and you know, she gets her rabies shot, her immunizations, she gets medication, and she has allergies, so it provides really good discounts on allergy medications, which are more expensive than human medication. Different composition there for those drugs. So good plans. We also include the flyer so you know what the cost is per month, and it's depending on how many pets. No breeds excluded, no pre-existing limitation. So if you have a pet that has a condition, then you know you need to get it treated, get it into the veterinarian. There's no limitation on that. So just know that. Really important, we'd like to get everybody's enrollment form, and I'll bring those up here. Let me just find them. Open. Here it is. So the enrollment forms were sent out with a few things. So we'd like to get the enrollment form back as soon as possible. We do have a hard deadline by June 23rd, but if you can get it into us sooner, that would help so we can go into the United Healthcare system and make any changes that need to be made in there. So we do ask if you're enrolling, obviously if you're enrolled today and we have your dependent socials, we don't need them, but if you're enrolling dependents for the first time, we do need social security numbers for all the dependents. Again, Section C is where you're going to make your election on which plan you're going to elect. Again, the Choice Plus plan is going to be your high deductible health plan. And just to reiterate, EyeSite is giving you $100 per month going into your health savings account. If you would like to add additional dollars, your pre-tax dollars, then we need that amount in here. And then we also would like you to open up your UMB account as soon as possible. That's very important because if you don't open it, we don't have an account to put in the $100 that EyeSite is giving you or your pre-tax dollars. And the other reason it's very important is if you have a claim on that high deductible health plan and your account is not open, you cannot use those dollars to pay for that claim. Even if there's no money in there, as long as it's open before that first claim hits, you can use those dollars to pay for previous claims, past claims. So if you know you're going to have a procedure coming up, you know you're going to have some out-of-pocket expenses, open that account and you can fund it with pre-tax dollars and pay for those services as you know, as you have the money going into that account. Then section D is where you're going to enroll or make changes to your dental or vision, and signature, of course. If you're declining, if you're waiving coverage, it is very important that you let us know that you're waiving and why. If you do not want to enroll in the company's very generous benefits and you're enrolling somewhere else, or just don't want to have benefits, and if you feel like going out to the marketplace, you can do so. So one of the questions when you go out to the marketplace is, did your employer offer you benefits? The answer is going to be yes. So we need to collect those waivers to make sure that everyone is covered in this event. Next page is the flexible spending account. Again, more of a refresher if you want to enroll. Just keep in mind you only have a few pay periods to the end of the year. And then this is going to be your Unum life insurance enrollment form. This is the voluntary form. You want to complete this. If you're a new hire or newly eligible, it's going to be your initial enrollment. If you're increasing your amount, you want to do annual enrollment. And then whatever amount you're going to be increasing, make sure you put that in for us. Don't forget to update your beneficiary if you need to update it. And if you're just updating the beneficiary, you can do so. And just make a note at the top, only updating beneficiary, and we'll save that for our records. These are the premiums for the life insurance, very low. So I know we got some young guys on EyeSite surveillance. So for the 25-year-old, you're going to pay 93 cents a month for $10,000 of life insurance. That's very inexpensive, and it covers you. So even if you buy just the $10,000, that'll allow you to keep increasing it year over year. Then you can also purchase life insurance for your spouse and the children. Now for the children, it's one premium for one or as many as you have. So it's going to be, 0.556 plus 0.04 for the accidental death and dismemberment, and that's going to cover all of the children. So just keep that in mind when you're reviewing these options. And then this is a long-term disability form. This is going to be based on your age and your income. So there's information here on how to calculate how much you're going to pay per paycheck for that long-term disability. The same applies for your short-term disability. So it's based on your age. It's a quick calculation that you do here. If you need any assistance with that, please let me know. Okay. Moving forward, so the Legal Shield ID Shield, again, this is a new flyer, gives you more information. You do have to go to this website in order to enroll. We get the report at CBR, and then we payroll deduct your premium, so you don't have to worry about it. And it tells you at the very bottom what the cost is for an individual or for a family, for one or for both. And this is a monthly premium, and depending on your pay periods, I think you are semi-monthly, so it'll be divided in two. And then this is the pet care. So again, you do have to go online to enroll for this, and it tells you what's covered: office visits, examinations, hospitalization, dental cleanings, extractions. A lot of things are going to be covered, and then the cost is per month and per pet. So again, no breed excluded or no pre-existing limitations. This is the website. Just click on it, and then it'll take you to the website. We'll get the report, and again, payroll deduct. And then this is going to be the AFLAC callback. If you want AFLAC to contact you, just fill this information out, get it back to us along with your enrollment form, and we'll make sure, and I will personally make sure that somebody from the AFLAC team contacts you. I provided additional flyers on here in regard to the virtual visits, since it's something that I highly recommend, and also saving some money if you're on that high deductible health plan, so you don't have to pay additional dollars for those services. And then also every employee has EAP or employee assistance at no cost. So I know right now, the world is in a little bit of turmoil and chaos. This is a really good outlet, really good resource for you and your family. It is short-term counseling. It is no cost to you. It's 100% confidential. Nothing gets back to EyeSite or to us into who's calling, why they're calling, etc. I recommend you go onto the website, enroll in the website, take advantage of all the resources that are on there. Aside from the employee assistance program, which is a counselor that you speak to, there's other items on there available: mindfulness, exercising, discounts, movie tickets, amusement parks, which most of them are closed, things of that nature. There's a lot of benefits available to you at no cost on the website. So I highly recommend you go on there and take a look for yourself and your family and see what you have access to at no cost to you. The flyer has the links, and then the username is going to be CBR, all lowercase. So I encourage you to take advantage of these free services available to you. The rest of this information is going to be the full voluntary term life policy that goes over all the coverages, the limitations, things of that nature. Okay. Does anybody have any questions on anything we've gone over so far?
I do. This is Jason.
Hi,
Hi,
Jason.
Leticia. Forgive me if you covered this, but on the enrollment form, if we're already enrolled in the flex spending account or the dental plan or those, we don't need to re-enroll, do we? Just the health insurance?
Correct. Do I have anybody from the HR team on the phone? I thought I saw somebody log in from our HR team. To me, it would be no. If you're already enrolled today, you're not making any changes to those services, you do not need to add anything on there. It's just the medical that you have that you can make the changes to today.
So there will be another open enrollment period for the flex spending account in what, November or something, right?
Yeah, at the end of this year, we'll reach out again for the flex, the dental, and the vision.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. If there's anything else you want to take offline, an email anybody wants to send, my information is in the email and also in the back of your benefit guide. So did everybody get the benefit guide? So it looks like this. There's a lot of pages on it. At the very last pages, my information is on the back. Leticia, my direct email and my direct phone number. So if you have any questions, anything you'd like to discuss, if you want to learn more about health savings account and how they work, I have a lot of information. I have a lot of videos. I have a lot of flyers. I even have a cost analysis. If you want to do your own cost analysis on HSA, I have that available. Any questions in regard to anything we've gone over or items in your benefit guide, please feel free to reach out to me. And also, please let me know if you have any other concerns, anything else going on other than what we heard of already in regards to AFLAC, please contact me and I'll be happy to assist.
Thank you very much for all this information. If there's no more questions, that was a lot to go over. Thanks, Leticia.
It was a lot, and like I said, I did record. I will send out the YouTube link. You know, if you'd like to play it again, you know, over the weekend with your spouse, etc., or just for yourself, I'll send out the YouTube link that you guys can take a look at it or reach out to me if you have any questions.
Hey, Leticia. Real quick. So basically, this is open enrollment for everything except the FSA, dental, and vision, right? We will have another chance to enroll in that, what is it, like November at the end of the year?
Correct, correct. If you're a new hire or newly eligible and you're just now being offered the benefits, then you know this is your opportunity to enroll in everything. But if you're already enrolled in the dental, and from a legal standpoint, when you have a medical open enrollment, that's a qualified event. If you would like to make changes to your dental, either come on because you missed that opportunity, we're going to go ahead and allow it because it is your open enrollment period, and open enrollment is a qualified event. So essentially opening up that window for you again, even for those benefits that you were offered at the beginning of the year or late last year. So, you know, just if you would like to, just enroll in the dental and we'll make sure you get enrolled.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
So we have until the 23rd, right, to get everything back to you?
Yes. So in the body of the email that went out, there's a link for Marlene's email address. You can send it to myself or you can send it to her, and we'll make sure that everything gets processed.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Any other questions? All right. Thank you all for your time today. Who was it that had the issue with Aflac?
It'll be me, Daniel. I'll send you an email, Leticia.
Was
I
it
had the
Philippe?
names wrong, but it was Philip. Yeah, Philippe. Yes.
Okay, it was Philippe Coelho. Okay, so it was not Jose. Great. And that's actually Jose's boss is Philippe Coelho. So I'm a little bit concerned about that. So we'll definitely, if you can send me an email or forward me the email that you've sent him, and I'll make sure it gets taken care of immediately.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everybody.
Thank you, Leticia. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.